Hello and happy 2024. I'm Abby McHugh-Griffa, Executive Director of the Climate Solutions Accelerator, and today I'm going to share, a few updates like I usually do. But I started in December also sharing some personal thoughts, things that I have learned in my 10 years as a climate activist. And as I've continued to reflect on that, I realized, wow, I have a whole lot more to say. So I'm going to subject you to those personal reflections actually probably for this entire year. I'm considering this my 10-year anniversary year. And so I will do that at the end and hope that it is of value. But starting with the updates. There is an opportunity to go to Albany on January 23rd to support the New York Heat Act. And as you may know, the governor in her State of the State address just a few days ago expressed support for some aspects of New York Heat, and we were very excited about that, but we need to get it over the finish line. So there will be a bus going from Rochester, leaving at 7 in the morning, which is not actually that early for this kind of thing. And we'll bring it back at the end of the day. You'll have a rally, you'll meet with legislators, and it will just be a fun and festive time. So would encourage you to do that. That is, again, January 23rd, and you can find sign-up information in the newsletter. Also, this is not such great news. We learned just a few days ago that NYSERDA is changing the eligibility requirements for Empower Plus. And basically, they're taking away the geo-eligibility feature, which allowed some people to qualify for up to $10,000 of energy work in their homes simply because they lived in the right neighborhood. But that is going away. We are actually quite disappointed about that. Apparently has to do with funding coming through the federal government from the IRA to the New York State government and the federal government not allowing geo-eligibility. We are definitely intending to push back and continue to advocate for geo-eligibility because we have found it to be a really helpful way of just reducing the barriers to access to these programs. And if you live in those neighborhoods, if you have the chance right now before February 1st, okay, because you've got like 2 weeks, please call up one of our energy advisors, get your application in. You could still get through in the program based on geo-eligibility, but after February 1st, that will go away. If you do income qualify, you will still income qualify and be able to get the advantage of that, but you will have to demonstrate your income eligibility. Whereas again, before, just if you lived in the right neighborhood, you were qualified. So not great news, but it does give us a couple weeks here to get additional people in the door to take advantage of that program. So if you want to check if you are in one of those neighborhoods, there is a map. We will link to it and invite you to reach out right away to get your application in for that. All right, so some thoughts. I think one of the main barriers to progress on climate is that people really have trouble envisioning what the future could or should look like if we effectively, change the way we're doing things to usher in this clean energy economy or regenerative economy. So I think it's fundamentally important that we develop a shared vision for the future, a very clear and hopefully inspiring vision for the future. So this would go beyond, just like slapping up some wind turbines and solar panels, although that is certainly an aspect of what would probably be included in the vision. But I think we need to think a little more broadly about that, again, about the kind of systems that are holding the problem in place and what it would look like to just really fundamentally transform our relationship with the earth, our relationship with each other to create that better future. So I am a firm believer, a better future is possible. But if you can't imagine what that future could or should look like, it's really hard to make progress and move in that direction. So, of course, we have been very inspired in our work in thinking about this regenerative economy framework. And so that question that I ask myself all the time, what would it look like? What would it mean to have an economy that supports human well-being and meets human needs, equitably meets human needs, while repairing environmental degradation and allowing us to live within the boundaries of what the planet can provide? For me, that question guides my imagination in thinking about this future. But there are some other tools out there that have helped me sort of construct this vision in my own mind. And one of those is the solar punk movement. So if you're not familiar with solar punk, I'd suggest just like going to YouTube and typing in solar punk. One of my favorite things there is this Chobani commercial with actually all the Chobani references removed. But it just shows this, like, what would it look like if humans and technology kind of lived together in ways that supported, again, human well-being and human thriving and equitably meeting human needs and all that stuff. And it just gives you the visual, like, what could it actually look like? So that can kind of get your imagination, the wheels turning. So again, would advise just, look around a little on the internet, find out what is solar punk and get some of those pictures in your head. We are also in the process of developing a vision video that aligns with the climate action strategy. It's not quite ready yet, but when it is, we will certainly share it. And then also, for me, this idea of collective liberation is something I'm a little obsessed with right now. So thinking about what would it mean in the future if there just weren't oppressed people and there weren't exploited natural resources, and we managed to live in a way where one person's pleasure and joy didn't come at the expense of someone else's. So my New Year's resolution this year has been to figure out what would it even mean or look like to advance our collective liberation. It's not good enough for just me to live a good life. I kind of want it for everybody. So, and I think our relationship with the planet is fundamental to that. So would invite you to join me in thinking about that this year. What is collective liberation? What would a regenerative economy look like? And for all of us to together co-create that vision for a better future. And that's it. Thanks so much for listening. Take care.